the threat level that you guys are under, and in particular when you have local politicians saying everything's under control?
Well, so here, with the way the building is set up, you can see behind me, there's a lot of high rises. There's a lot of different opportunities for people to look down and look into what it is that we're doing and to try to zone in and dial into our operations. We've actually had to put up some paper and some different window blockages on our third floor to keep people from looking in and trying to dial in. I get that the mayor and other politicians within Portland are saying that there's not anything going on here, but we've had a lot going on here over the last 9 months, especially since the beginning of June. This has been an ongoing protest, and the protest is fine. We're not here to stop people from exercising their First Amendment right. It's the folks who come out later at night. Normally the news crew show up here first thing in the morning. There's not a lot going on here then. But towards the nighttime, that's a whole different ballgame. And depending on what's going on in the local news and what it is that we're doing, what is happening in Washington, there can be anywhere from 15 people here to 1,000 to 2,000. And they can be here in a relatively short amount of time. There'll just be waves of folks that'll come in when they see if we've stepped up our battle rhythm, if we have more people coming in and out, if we have more people on the roof, if there's more traffic in and out of the building, just a whole lot of different things, because they have some spotters downstairs who will let everybody know through their networks what is and isn't happening down here. And that drives the reaction for a lot of folks. So we've had arrests that I think we're up to 170 arrests about that have occurred here in this building, but it has been difficult. We have folks that come in masks. I mean, we get a lot of flack because our folks wear masks. Our people are doing that to protect themselves and their family from this doxing and from people coming to their houses and from being followed home. Meanwhile, we have people here who show up with gas masks, with helmets, different types of strobe equipment or other things that will impede the lawful operations that we have going on. They're doing it for nefarious reasons. Meanwhile, our folks are doing it for their own self-preservation. I can't express to you, and I was thinking about this earlier, like the way their attitudes have changed towards ICE over time. It has been that there were more policy debates that happened where people talked about the policy and maybe they didn't agree with it, but there were like civil conversations that happened. Now I feel like it is dialed in and personal, where people are trying to identify our staff because of what they do and making it personal, instead of understanding that, again, we are civil servants. We're here to enforce the immigration laws as written. We are doing the job that we've done for decades at this point. People come into this country, we remove them from this country, they go through due process, and that is not respected the way it used to be as the way that the law should be implemented. This influx that we're getting of new deportation officers is going to be game-changing, because we're going to be able to put out more teams here, like I said, in the states of Washington and Oregon. Because the state and locals don't work with us, we have to do all of our arrests on the street. We have a very limited number of people that come in from the Department of Corrections in the state of Washington. Everything else for us is a street arrest, which requires 5 deportation officers on each case to go out, because there's an officer safety issues. We have to have perimeter guard, just all the things that go along with performing in the field. If we also have to deal with the number of protesters or local people, and we've all seen the video where our folks are surrounded, we are now starting to prosecute those folks for impeding with our work, which is a violation it's a federal violation. So that is something that we're now using in our toolbox in order to maybe highlight to people who are more willing to put themselves out there that there are consequences to that behavior. I sure don't want a federal charge, so we'll see how that pans out over the course of time, and maybe that will help people to understand that we are federal officers. Our job is important. Our job is outlined in federal law and federal regulation, and we are federal law enforcement officers.
And just one more point to put a bow on that. If these weren't sanctuary jurisdictions where you could actually go into the jails and to the prisons, how much easier that would make it and how much safer that would be for these communities.
Oh my gosh. That would be, well, that used to happen here. We had a very robust relationship with most of the state and local prisons and jails. We were able to go in. I mean, going into a state prison or a local jail to pick up people could be accomplished with 1 to 2 officers, where we're able to go in. We don't have to worry about going out into the community, where we have to worry about what is happening around us and who is tracking us. We don't have to worry about whether or not there are weapons on the person. It is a very safe way of making arrests for our officers. But I think more importantly, it requires less of us to be out in the communities. We're not disrupting people or making, in some cases, rather large scenes, if you will, the way people describe it. I mean, I don't describe it that way. I'm just like, that's the way we have to be when we're going out into the community, so that we can make sure our officers are safe and the public is safe. We certainly don't want to put the public at any risk, but at the same time, we have a public safety mission and an immigration mission that can't be ignored.